Once again, we compare the WWE with football. And no, I'm not talking XFL, thank goodness. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. Yeah, back to the old camera. The new one wasn't working for me. Good thing I got it on clearance. So anyway, yesterday was the 25th NXT TakeOver. A wonderful milestone, to say the least. And ever since Florida Championship Wrestling became NXT, it has received an impressive amount of praise. The talent is top-notch, the storylines are excellent, and most importantly, the matches are Raw and SmackDown Live quality. Or at least it was that quality until Raw and SmackDown started lowering its match quality. Or so people say, anyway. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that NXT, the so-called minor leagues of the WWE, is leagues ahead of the main shows. And I can't say I blame them. I mean, I may not watch NXT too often, but I know that Raw and SmackDown have been going relatively downhill over the last few years. It's starting to get to the point where it's actually a good thing to have less and less matches. So, why? Why is NXT outclassing the major leagues? Well, let's take a look at a different sport for that answer. American football. Now, I am not a big fan of the NFL. I, like practically everyone, watch the Super Bowl every year, but I watch it more for the commercials than the game. Oh yeah, and the gambling pools, but that's a different story. Pardon. But I most definitely love the college game. For some reason, it's much more exciting than the pro game. And the players? Well, while they technically don't get paid, though I sometimes wish they were, they play with much more heart and determination than the pros do. It's not just the school's name that's on the line in those games. It's national exposure, a good bowl game at the end of the year, and with any luck, NFL scouts tempting them to leave school and join the NFL draft early. See, the college football players are fighting for positions in the NFL. And not everyone makes it. With over 100 colleges, and that's just in the major division, and about 50 players per, that's over 5,000 players. And even if only 1/4 of them try for the draft, those 1,250 players are fighting for one of about 250 draft picks. So 4 out of every 5 will leave disappointed. So if they want the best chance of being put on an NFL team, they need to play like their career is at stake. Because it essentially is. Then when they make the NFL, they can sign a contract, and while still working hard so that they can ask for more money, they lose some of that bite they had in college. Sound familiar? Despite what people may think, the WWE roster is not infinite. There have been people in NXT for a considerable amount of time because the WWE just doesn't have the finances for more people on the main roster. The NXT stars have to wait for room to free up via retirement, a quitting, a future endeavorment. Until then, they work hard and give the fans a full say of what they want. Then, when they finally make either of the main rosters, the writers have them more or less coast until they can fit them in a major storyline. And that is the difference between NXT and the main WWE shows. The wrestlers work hard in front of a relatively small audience and on the WWE network so that they can, one day, get on the USA Network, or this fall Fox, and play to thousands in the arena and millions at home. So they work as hard as they can to impress Triple H, and when WrestleMania comes around, they hope to get called up, where they seem to languish because the writers don't quite know what to do with them at the time. I'm talking to you, No Way Jose Insanity. So when the 26th TakeOver comes around, probably in August, and you feel the show is so much better than SummerSlam, just know that the men and women you watch on TakeOver are really just trying really hard to get on Raw and SmackDown. The harder they work, the less likely they'll be around NXT in the months to come. And once they leave, the only reason they stink on Raw, SmackDown, or even Main Event is perhaps because they worked a bit too hard and just can't fit into the rosters somehow. In other words, the stars of NXT, for the most part, will become the jobbers of tomorrow. Maybe they shouldn't try so hard? I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. See ya.